Yo guys, what's up? It's been a few days since I did a last video on the whole Goldberg Fiend debacle. Uh, so in this video, I want to give my live review of AEW All Elite Wrestling's Revolution pay per view that they had here in Chicago. I had the privilege of able seeing it live on Saturday, and I also just kind of want to give my overall, I guess you could say, analysis or thoughts so far of AEW in 2020. I guess I'll just start with the pay per view. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time reviewing it in detail. Um, I was gonna do it late Saturday night, but I was just so tired. I got home so late, and then I had to work late into Sunday. But anyway, Revolution. I missed the pre-show, and I missed like maybe the first half of the Jack Swagger Dusty Rhodes match. But the Jack Swagger Dusty Rhodes match was alright, kind of slow paced. Um, I would say probably not, maybe not the best first showcasing for Jack Swagger or Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger. But it is what it is. I guess that was the first match that kicked off the night. Then we got into Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. This was the match that set the mood, I believe, for the rest of the show, for sure, because the crowd definitely got pumped for this match. Darby Allin, for all intents and purposes, is AEW's Jeff Hardy. You know, he's the guy with the face paint, but does like all the crazy stuff and will take the crazy bumps. And Sammy Guevara is another, good prick young heel. Um, this was an excellent match. Everything that you would say, you know, what is AEW, you can definitely say it's this match here with these guys. Uh, Darby Allin gets the victory over this, or gets the win, I should say. Follow up with this, we got what everyone's been talking about is not only a match of the year candidate, but one of the best tag team matches in a long time. We get Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page together defending the tag team titles against the Young Bucks. This was match of the night. This was an excellent tag team bout. I mean, these guys were throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at each other. The match was great. Things kind of got a little tense, a little heated when what's his name? Adam Hangman Page spat in one of the young Bucks' face. That pissed him off, and then it was I think is it Nick? No, Matt Jackson. He started to be a little bit more aggressive and kind of really take it to Kenny and really take it to Hangman Page, and then you had Nick, who was still doing his thing, but he wasn't as aggressive. Kind of wants to take it easy, and Matt kind of like snap him out of it. It's like, no, man, like you need to like up your game with me because these guys aren't playing. So like, uh, Nick ended up getting on the board. They ended up doing like the double knee to Kenny Omega's face, and Hangman did the buckshot on Nick, and got the pinfall and got the win. After that, they celebrated, or should I say, Young Bucks kind of shook hands with Omega and reached out to Hangman Page. Hangman Page wasn't having it at all. Didn't want their hand to be shaken. Didn't want to shake their hands or anything. Then he leaves the ring. He stops. And it's kind of like this pause, and everyone in the crowd was like waiting for it, waiting for it. It looked like he was gonna do a buckshot clothesline on Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega turns around and kind of looks at Paige, kind of funny, and then Paige was like, "Come on," ushers him to just come on between the ropes. I got you. I liked how they tease it. Because I think going into this pay per view, we all thought that um, Heyman would have turned on Omega, but it seems like they're going to milk it out a little bit more, and I'm completely fine with that because there were a lot of people that thought that when MJF turned on Cody Rhodes back in November, that was probably too soon. Um, so for them to milk this out a little bit more, I think that's fine. You could probably shoot if they wanted to. They could make it out to Double or Nothing. I know that's in May, but I think AEW has kind of proven at this point that despite them having fewer pay per views throughout the year, it definitely gives them more time to build up the storylines more properly, week after week. And so by the time you get to the pay per view, um, the match itself, the storyline that involves the match, it means something. Um, so there's that. But yeah, that was really interesting. After that, we got the females match. Nyla Rose, not Nyla Rose. It is Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose against I forgot that one girl. Nyla Rose won. This was a Pittsburgh match for me. Um, then we end up getting the was it the Cody Rhodes? Yeah, Cody Rhodes versus MJF match. Um, this match wasn't bad. I think it could have been a little bit better. Um, they told a good story with it, definitely for sure. A couple spots they got in there. Towards the end, Cody Rhodes was going for he was going for he went for two crossroads. Was going to make it a third, but MJF in transition of doing a third attempt, I should say, MJF like kicks him in the face with his knee, and he quickly turns around and socks him in the face with the ring that not the Hall of Fame ring, but the AEW ring that Wardlow gave him. Just socked it to him and falls on Cody and gets the win. I thought the right guy won in this. I think the Cody Rhodes MJF feud, I think that can still go a little. I think this still has some legs to it. They've done a great job at all the matches on this pay per view. That was probably the best built storyline they had coming in this pay per view between MJF and Cody. Definitely MJF being the best heel in that company, being one of the best heels you could probably argue in wrestling right now. I thought deserved the win. I thought he was going to lose, but because he didn't, I really wasn't upset that he won because I think this feud, like I said, definitely has some legs on it to stand and can go a little bit further if they choose to. But the right guy won. Um, then we get into a match that was like thrown in last minute. Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Um, this was another fun match. If you don't know Orange Cassidy, who he is or what he does or what he's all about, now you know. Um, the guy is fine. He Orange Cassidy is the perfect example of what I find to be entertaining or entertainment in wrestling. All the stuff that WWE would do in terms of like Santino. Santino Marella was a comedic character, a gimmick character. I never found the skits and things that he did. Dressing up like a chick, being a co-women's champion with Beth Phoenix, him almost winning the world championship from Daniel Bryan. I mean, all the stuff like that. I never considered that to be funny to me. I always thought Santino was a joke, and in my opinion, an embarrassment to wrestling. And I know a lot of people just will probably disagree with that because a lot of people love Santino Marella. But that was a jokey gimmick character. Didn't mesh well with me. Orange Cassidy is a different beast, or animal, I should say. Um, he's comedic, but he can actually go in the ring. And that's not as great as Santino. Santino could wrestle too, but if Orange Cassidy wanted to be serious and win a mid card championship belt, I would be okay with it and I could be accepted towards it instead of Santino Marella. But um, yeah, I absolutely had fun with this match. This was a fun match. Everyone in the auditorium was chanting, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" And he and Pac never even touched, like at all. And Pac kind of even had a little bit of fun too. Looked like he was kind of playing back with him, with little kicks and stuff. This was a fun match. The right guy won with Pac. Um, Lucha Bros came in and kind of distracted the ref when they were attacking the best friends, and Pac won. Now we get on to the main event: Chris Jericho versus John Moxley. This was a match I was kind of split on. I was like, they've done a really good job. This was like a 5-6 week build to this match. I thought, in my opinion, that John Moxley could get it here and could win. But on the other hand, I was like, Jericho's been gold. In every segment he's been in as world champion, as being the first inaugural champion, he's been gold. And I'm like, if Jericho wins and they milk it out a little bit more, I wouldn't have been upset. I honestly wouldn't have. But then there was also too, on the other hand, it's like, but man, you put 5 weeks worth of television into this feud and done a pretty good job with Moxley, and for all intents and purposes, whether you like it or not, he is probably one of the most over and most recognizable stars out in that brand. So we get to the match. Here's my one thing about the match. The match was okay. It was okay. I think the Cody Rhodes Jericho match, I think, was a little bit more enjoyable um, than this. But it did have a big fight feel in the arena. The crowd was hot for it. Chicago was hot for it. And I just think it went along a little bit just too long. I think if they shaved off about a good 5 to 10 minutes, if they shaved a good 5 to 10 minutes off, I think the match quality probably would have been a lot better. Again, like I said, it wasn't sloppy, it wasn't terrible, and I know Jericho is 49, so I'm not expecting Jericho at the age of 49 to wrestle like Jericho from 2006 or even in '99. Um, they did the best that they had. And Moxley being the brawler that he is, I thought the match was fine. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. I just felt like for the mesh of style of both Jericho and Moxley, I think they would have done better if it was like maybe a 12 to 15 main event, not a 20-22 minute main event. But there was some entertaining stuff in here. Some stuff with the inner circle trying to interfere um, with Moxley, but they end up getting ejected from the arena. There was one spot where Jericho, I look like he slapped the referee. What's her name? Audrey or Aubrey. Looks like he slapped her ass or something like that, which I thought was I thought was comical. I was just like, this it's fucking Jericho. Um, but yeah, Moxley removes the eye patch and reveals, hey, you know, I'm not blind from the time that Jericho pricked him in the eye. I gotta say though, we all knew there was nothing legitimately wrong with Moxley, and even when you kind of look at some of the spots and stuff and his matches in New Japan when he came back, wearing the eye patch and stuff like that, we know he wasn't hurt. But I got to give Mox credit. The guy stayed in character for several weeks, keeping that eye patch on his face. Every interview I've seen him in, with either whether it was with Fightful, him going back into New Japan wrestling, the guy wrestled with his eye patch, had his eye patch on. I don't think anybody could say the man probably walked to a 7-Eleven to get some juice in his eye patch. The man stayed in character, and that really reminded me of when the story of Sandman from ECW back in the day, where he was doing an angle, and I think like someone burned. I think it was Sabu or Raven. Someone they like spat fire or something into his eye, or whatever the case may be, but it was something with his eyes. and Sandman stayed indoors in his home for like an entire week or 2 weeks, never went outside, had his daughter or wife to get the mail for him or whatever because he wanted to stay in character and play off the injury that his eyes were, hurt or whatever or affected. That reminded me of that story. And, like I said, we know he never got pregnant, but the fact that he kept up or tried to keep up the kayfabe and try to keep it up, make it alive, keep it alive. I got to give Mox credit for that. I thought that was props to him for that. But anyway, he hits the paradigm shift on Jericho, gets the pin and the win. Your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, second in history. Um, I thought this was. I wasn't mad. I popped for it. I thought this was as good as the match was going to be, and the right guy won here. I think the interesting thing coming out of this for me is how is John Moxley going to be as the flag bearer for AEW, being the world champion, being the guy to toe that company line? Can he do it? Because one of the things that we've always wondered, we're not going to say wondered, but you could argue his run as WWE champion in WWE was not great at all. And you could say maybe because WWE, they booked him shit, they give him a lot of scripted stuff. Everything that Moxley has always talked about and complained about since leaving WWE, you can probably say in fault and say it was WWE. And to some degree, you could probably even say because of that, Moxley wasn't feeling passionate. Because you can kind of tell. I never forgot that interview he had with Stone Cold, where he just kind of seemed like he was kind of phoning it in, just seemed like he didn't care. And it was at that moment I made a video on this. I was like, get the belt off of Dean Ambrose. I was like, I don't know what it is, but something's not there. Get the belt off of Dean Ambrose. It was a great pop when he cashed in Money in the Bank, had the triple threat of the Shield, but since then it's been downhill for Ambrose as WWE champion. Get the belt off him, put it on AJ Styles, and sure enough, 2 months later they put it on AJ Styles. So I'm really interested to see, now that you don't have that WWE machine behind you, or that creative vampire sucking out the juices. Um, Now that you are in a much better creative environment, you have that creative freedom. I'm interested to see Moxley as world champion in a new company, a different company that's not WWE, and see how he does. And I'm really interested in comparing his run as AEW champ versus his time being champ in WWE. Was it really creative, or was it really Moxley? Like I said, it'd be interesting to see. And when that time comes, it plays out as champion, I'll probably do a retrospective video on this because I think it's an interesting thing to talk about. But definitely glad he won. And like I said, I'm really interested to see what he does as world champion here for AEW. Will the numbers go up or down or stay stagnant for AEW in the weeks to come in the ratings? Let me know what you guys think in the box below about AEW Revolution. Did you like it? Dislike it? What are your highs or lows? What are your thoughts in the box below? Do yourself a favor and hit that like button. Comment, subscribe. Peace out.